So again, we are here with the political science chapter, and the chapter is globalization. Right. So yesterday I told you about the negative impact and positive impact of the globalization, and negative impact, in which negative impact is also there. I told you some farmers are committing suicide. Right. So this is one of the worst negative impact, I must say. Right, MNCs are there. They are capturing the retail shopkeepers. They are marketers. They are the marketers, small marketing people, and they are marketers also. And their big shops are there, malls are there, in which small shopkeepers, if they compare with them, some small shopkeepers, their small shopkeepers are is they are nowhere. So and communication is very fast here. It's very good, but due to the communication, fast communication, negative impact is also there. Right. For example, a film producer, right, from Hollywood, he said that Bollywood is making uh, films on the topic of Hollywood. They are basically they accused lifting the story from the film. So and a militant group also issued a threat to the people, or to the women, because they are wearing Western dresses. So there are many. These are the few, and there are many other negative impact also. But that we cannot say goodbye to the modernization with the fear of negative impact, because everything is having negative or positive. It depends on us which path we choose. हम किसको चुनते हैं? Okay, so this was earlier yesterday's topic. So these examples show us that the globalization need. These examples show us, yeah, these examples show us that the globalization need always be in, not always be in positive. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि ये हर वक्त positive ही रहेंगे. It can have a negative consequences also. It is in your screen. It can have negative consequences also for the people. Indeed, there are many who believe that the globalization has more negative consequences than positive. Some people are there who think that only negative aspects is there. No, okay, could be possible sometime. Negative impacts are much more larger if we compare with the positive impacts. So these examples also show that the globalization need not be only about the economic issues, nor in the direction of influence always from the rich to the poor countries. ये सिर्फ मार्केट के ऊपर ही सीमित नहीं है. लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग, नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव. Globalization aspect is not limited to the market, or some type of influence of from the rich people, rich countries to the poor countries. Economic issues are there, but in the direction of influence from the rich to poor countries. Obviously, negative impact is also there, positive impact is also there. Rich countries can help the poor countries through the globalization, right? It's a positive impact. And rich countries capturing the market of the poor countries, is again a part of globalization. It's a negative impact. Okay, so since much of the usage tends to be empiricized, it becomes important to clarify what we mean by globalization, which I told you just. हमें globalization का मतलब क्या है, हमें समझना पड़ेगा कि how can we help take the help from the globalization. I know globalization is very important and a very usable word. Right, पूरा विश्व हमारा है. लेट मी टेल वन थिंग, दिस इज अ सिंपल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन. पूरा का पूरा ग्लोब, पूरा का पूरा संसार, पूरा विश्व, ये सब एक मार्केट है. लेट मी टेल वन थिंग, इकोनॉमिक्स ये कहती है कि जहां पर पूरा विश्व मार्केट है, पूरे विश्व के लोग, द पीपल हु आर इन द वर्ल्ड, they are basically buyers also, they are basically seller also, both. And it's where they meet in the globe. कहीं भी मिल सकते हैं, and that is the globalization. When the market of our market is open to the world market and world market is open for our market, that is a part of globalization. When we think our ideas are flow from one corner to the another corner, from one corner to the another corner, from one world to the another part of the world, right? The idea flows. आपके आइडियाज फ्लो करते हैं, तो इससे क्या होता है, इसे कहते हैं ग्लोबलाइजेशन. So, since much of the usage tends to be imprecise, it becomes important to clarify what we mean by globalization. Globalization as a concept of fundamental details with flows. I told you, flow, idea flow करता है. मार्केट में सामान फ्लो करता है, पैसा फ्लो करता है. इंसान one person goes from one part of the world to the another part of the world, right? He is not a static, right? देखिए ना, one thing, once upon a time, a long time back, Marco Polo came to India. Fahian came to India. Huan Xiang came to India. Lot of people came to India. For the Britishers, they came to India. French people came to India. Why they came to India? There was some concept why they came to India. Globalization is a wider concept. ये तो बहुत बहुत हजारों साल पहले भी ग्लोबलाइजेशन था. ड्यूरिंग द इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन, सुनिए ध्यान से सुनिए इस चीज को. ड्यूरिंग द इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन देयर वाज ग्लोबलाइजेशन. You will say how, sir? This is because we used to sell, marketing. We were marketing at that time also rice and other garam masala and spices to the other part of the world. We are sending them, we are selling them to the ship and all. Okay, communication was not so much advanced in that at that time, but there was also globalization at that time. According to that time, it was a globalization. The word we gave the globalization now कि पूरा विश्व हमारा है, पहले भी विश्व हमारा था, right? So globalization as a concept of fundamentally differs with flow. These flows could be various kinds. Flows एक जगह से दूसरी जगह को जाने को और मार्केट के आप तक आपके घर में आने को. It's a part of globalization. Okay, for example, now you suppose you don't want to go to the market from through the concept of marketing, and modern share marketing. The people comes to you courier ke through, they used to give the things online services. You take the online services, you can ask the grocery also, you can ask the food also, everything you can ask at your home, at your place. We are sitting, just dial it, and the thing is at just near to the your doorstep. Online services. So this is online services. You pay the cash. You don't pay the cash through your wallet, your email wallet, e-wallet. You don't have to have the money at in your pocket, right? So this is a part of globalization. So flows, मार्केट फ्लो करती है, मार्केट का सामान फ्लो करता है, लोग आपके करीब आते हैं, राइट? मार्केट पूरा आपका अपना है. इफ यू हैव द मनी इन योर पॉकेट, द होल मार्केट इज योर्स. So these flows could be various kind. Ideas of moving one word to the another. Capital shunted between two or more places. Right? Capital means paisa. Commodities being traded across the border. Where is the border? Okay, this is when you send you are exporting something, you are importing something. Right now, export and import is a very common factor and common words for everyone. Import and export. Right, right. So this is called globalization. Your ideas flows, right? And the people moving in search of better livelihood, better jobs. I told you yesterday that Canada is called a mini Punjab. Canada is called mini Punjab. What do you mean by mini Punjab? Mini Punjab means that lot of Punjabis and lot of other particular people of India, they are living in Canada. They are doing business over there. Right. So that is the answer. So there are a lot of people, they used to go to Dubai and Middle East countries and South Africa, North Africa countries, other part of America and Australia. Lot of people from India, they are living in New Zealand and Australia. They have a good business over there. Right. So this is a part of globalization. The crucial element is worldwide. interconnectedness that is created and sustained as a consequence of these distant flows. You know, so we are interdepending on each other. We are interdepending on each other. Basically, dependence is there. Dependence is there. We cannot be aloof. We have to depend on the other part of the country. We cannot be aloof. I told you that if you don't say hello to the capitalism, hello to the world market, you have to be aloof. Then one day, suddenly the country will be divided into many parts, as the USSR, Soviet संघ happened. जैसे सोवियत संघ में घटना घटी थी कम्युनिज्म के अंदर, तो वो किसी के देश में भी घट सकता है. राइट, दैट्स व्हाई चाइना इज just communist country, but it flows the path of the democracy and capital and markets. Right, why China is booming now, lots of economy is there, because it knows that without the westernization, the consequences will be same as per what happened in Soviet Sun, USSR. Right. So globalization is a multi-dimensional concept. It's a multi-dimensional. It's a very, it could be a question for you in the for the final examination also. Internal question. Globalization is a multi-dimensional concept. मल्टी कॉन्सेप्ट, इसके कई डायमेंशन, कई पहलुओं को लेकर एक ग्लोबलाइजेशन बनना है. देयर आर मेनी प्रिंसिपल. मेन प्रिंसिपल इज वन पार्ट टू द अनदर पार्ट. नो वन इज aloof over here. कोई अकेला नहीं है. A small country could be a big country, right? And lots of countries can invest in that if the market is booming, like India. It has a political, economic, and cultural manifestation. Globalization से political aspect, economy is there, and the cultural. तीन चीजें बहुत important हो जाती हैं किसमें, ग्लोबलाइजेशन में. कौन कौन सी? political, economic, and cultural manifestation. It's a wide dimension. राइट, बहुत बड़ा इसका दारोमदार है. लॉट ऑफ influences there in globalization. Basically, market influences there. Right. So it is a political, economic, and cultural manifestation, and these must be adequately distinguished. It is wrong to assume that the globalization has a purely economic dimension. I told you just now, it's an economic. Okay, market is there. It is one of the major aspects. Economy. पैसा सबसे important aspect है. Let me tell you one thing. Right. But पैसा ही सब कुछ है. No, it's not possible. पैसा बहुत कुछ है. For example, in economics, it said you 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 cannot eat the money. You cannot eat the money, but you cannot eat without the money. तुम पैसा खा नहीं सकते हो, पर पैसे के बिना तुम जिंदा भी नहीं रह सकते. So पैसा is important, but पैसा is everything. It cannot say like this. We cannot say like this. Right. So it is wrong to assume that the globalization has purely economic dimension. ये सोचना गलत है कि सिर्फ ग्लोबलाइजेशन सिर्फ इकोनॉमी ही कंसर्न है. Just as it would also be mistaken to assume that it is a purely cultural phenomena. ये प्योरली एक ही सिस्टम है कि आपको इकोनॉमी ही मिलेगी ग्लोबलाइजेशन, ये गलत है. आपका कल्चर डेवलप होगा, ये गलत है. आप सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल डायमेंशन के ऊपर ही इस काम को, ग्लोबलाइजेशन को यूज कर सकते हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग. It is an, I told you that it has a multi-dimensional aspect. Globalization has having multi-dimensional aspect. सब चीजें इसके साथ मिली हुई हैं. Even I told you that negative में terrorism भी मिला हुआ है इसके साथ. I will say that is a negative aspect, but terrorism भी इसके साथ मिला हुआ है. And let me tell you one thing: your education, your science, your technology, it has the positive impact also. Let me tell you, it has the negative impact also. Science is having a positive as well as the negative. It depends on us which way we want to move. Right. So economic dimension, just as it would also be mistaken to assume that it is a purely cultural phenomena. The impact of globalization is variable, vastly uneven, evenly नहीं है कि मार्केट से सबको भला होने वाला है, मार्केट से सारी कंट्री को भला होने वाला है. सॉरी, if one country wants to capture the another country, एक कंट्री का तो भला हो गया. It's good for one country. When where is another one? Once upon a time, everything was manufacturing in China, and for the China, the whole of the world, basically the Indian Asian part, Indian Asian part of other country, Asian parts related to the other countries, right? That was a market for China, and China was getting richer and richer day by day. When it was going to capture the another country's market, so where the local people will go. So dimensions are various. Market has it has one positive value also, it's a negative value also, right? So the impact of globalization is vastly uneven. It affects some societies more than other, and some part of the some society more than others. जो हम सोचते हैं उससे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट हो जाता है. Right. Positivity will maybe is a go for the positive aspect also, negative impact also. And it is important to avoid drawing general conclusion about the impact of globalization without paying sufficient attention to the specific context. You know, हम कुछ इसके बारे में पर्टिकुलर एक डिसीजन नहीं ले सकते कि इसका ये इम्पैक्ट होने वाला है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नाउ कोरोना डेज आर गोइंग ऑन. You're sitting in the home and you are listening my voice. I'm sharing the chapter with you, right? So you are doing it, but how could be I'm positive that you are listening to me or not, or you are really concerning your book, and you are concerning with whatever the chapter is going on. If the exams are going on, what is the possibility that you are you're not doing any wrong thing, or any unwanted help from the other part of the book? You're opening the book and giving the examination could be possible. Negative impact is also there. People are sitting and they don't have any other work to do. It have a side effect on your health, mental as well as physical health also, social health also. Right. So we have lot of dimension. Dimension of what? Consequences. Causes are also there. Causes is one. That is corona. One cause due to the corona. But it had consequences are vast. What is happening? Positivity. Now everything is on online. Experience are there on the technology and all. Lots of things are happening. Now, causes of globalization. I think it's clear for you. What accounts for globalization? If globalization is above all flow of ideas, capital and commodities and people. Number one, ideas flow करते हैं. Number two, capital flow होता है, पैसा. Number three, commodities, सामान flow होता है. Commodities आपकी सामान इधर से उधर, उधर से इधर. स्मगलिंग की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Through email, through the online, right? And you give the order and all, right? तो commodity सामान जो है export import होता है, ज्यादा हो रहा है. And people, लोग भी जा रहे हैं, right? So you want to ideas, capital, commodities, and people, they flow from one place to another place during the globalization. It is perhaps logical to ask if there is anything novel about this phenomena. क्या क्या हम इसके बारे में इतने कह सकते हैं कि क्या और कुछ भी अच्छाइयां हैं इस ग्लोबलाइजेशन की. Globalization in terms of these four flows has taken place through much of the human history. I told you. बहुत पुराने से, near about 4,500 years ago, there was globalization, there was business, there were markets. People used to come to, in India, in Gurukul, right? So lots of people from other countries. Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, Nalanda. People of economics, Chanakya and all, still we read about. So globalization in terms of these four flows has taken place through much of this. However, those who argue that there is something distinct about contemporary globalization point out that is the scale and speed of these flows that account for the uniqueness of globalization. आज के टाइम में ग्लोबल पहले भी था ग्लोबलाइजेशन अब भी है what is the difference between पहले and now? Difference is that ideal flows, the concept flows, the capital flows, the commodity flows, the people flows, the you know in a big manner, in a fast manner. Within seconds, your ideal flows. Within seconds, you know that what is happening in another part of the world. So this is a part of globalization. So in the concept, in the contemporary era, globalization has a strong historical basis. And it is important to view contemporary flows against the backdrop. Against the backdrop. So let us do something. While globalization is not caused by any single factor, let me tell you one thing. Globalization जो है, give me a few seconds. Yeah, what accounts of globalization? Here, what accounts of globalization in terms of these flows has much taken off the backdrop. Just give me a few seconds here. Yeah, while globalization is not caused by any single factor, technologically remains a critical element. There is no doubt that the invention of the telegraph, I told you, communication system, is not caused by a single factor. Globalization सिर्फ एक single factor से नहीं पैदा हुआ है. It's not caused by single factor. Many factors are responsible for globalization. Communication is one of them. It's a major factor. But a key factor is important and one factor is responsible for the globalization. No, it's not true. So while globalization is not caused by any single factor, technology remains a critical element. Technology remains a critical element, and there is no doubt that the invention of telegraph and telephone and the microchip is more recent times has revolutionized communication between revolutionized communication between various parts, between different parts of the world, right? So ये एक ना रेवोल्यूशन आ गया किसमें कम्युनिकेशन किसके थ्रू ग्लोबलाइजेशन के थ्रू इट देयर इज अ रेवोल्यूशन नाउ एक क्रांति आ गई है right so when printing initially came into being it laid the basis for the creation of nationalism हम जब प्रिंटिंग शुरू हुआ था हमारे देश में तो क्या हमारे दिमाग में था हमारे दिमाग में था नेशनलिज्म दैट इज देशभक्ति हम देशभक्ति को कैसे क्रिएट करें सो दैट imperialism should not be in our country. We should be independent. Ideas of nationalism should flow from one to north to south and east to west. one part, right? So also today we should expect that technology will affect the way we think our personal but also our collective lives. टेक्नोलॉजी ने कम्युनिकेशन ने सिंगल वन ग्रुप को एक क्लास को इफेक्ट नहीं किया है पूरी सोसाइटी इफेक्टेड है positively also negatively also depends on you what type of things you can go on positive is there and negative aspect is there but communication ke through revolutionized communication ke through we have been affected the ability of ideas capital commodity and people move from easily one part to the another part which I told you just now has been made possible largely by technological advances. The place of these flows may vary from instance. The movement of capital commodities will most likely to be quicker and wider than the movement of peoples across different parts of the world. Communication, लोगों का communication, अपना individual communication देर में होता है, right? You can communicate from one part to another part through the phone. लोग इंडिविजुअली पर्सनली देश जाने जो हो सकता है बट उनके आइडियाज बहुत जल्दी कम्युनिकेट करते हैं सो ग्लोबलाइजेशन however does not emerge merely because of the availability of improved communication what is important is for the people in different parts of the world to recognize these interconnection with the rest of the world लोगों ने समझ लिया है इसको कि we are interconnected with each other we are interconnected with each other. What is important is for people in different parts of the world to recognize these interconnection with the rest of the world. Currently, we are aware of the fact that events taking place in one part of the world could have an impact on another part of the world. हमें पता है कि जो घटना यहाँ पे हो रही है उसका इम्पैक्ट दूसरे देश में भी होगा कोरोना जो फैला था चाइना से फैला था more than 13 lakh people are being killed in India, it is more than 1,30,000 people were killed through the corona. In America, it's advanced, technology, advanced medical facilities are there. More than 3 lakh people are killed. So where it happened? It happened in China. Germs, virus. It happened in it born in China, but it take the whole system throughout the world. It developed throughout the world, and many people were killed. It was flowing from one place to another place through the people, through the commodities. Effect is always vast. So the bird flu or tsunami, I told you at that time, the corona was not there. So the bird flu, the tsunami is not confined to any particular nation, one nation. Right? It does not respect national boundaries. इसका कोई national boundaries नहीं है. Similarly, when major economic events take place, this impact is felt outside their immediate local, national or regional environment at the global level. और जब भी कहीं घटना होती है, right? तो basically
मांग रहे हैं नीचे आ गया मगर उसका फोन डाउन हो गया था
So when major economic events take place, their impact is felt outside their immediate local, national or regional environment at the from the global level. So एक जगह से दूसरे जगह की ओर आइडिया फ्लोज और एक जगह पे घटना नहीं घटती, पूरे विश्व में ये घटना वॉट एवर इट हैपन, द इम्पैक्ट इज थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड, इम्पैक्ट इज थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड. Tomorrow I will go for the political consequences and economic consequences, then cultural consequences. Right. So economic political consequences are there. You know better. And I give you homework. Read page number 139, page number 140, and page number 141. Right. Read it up, and you should know that what is the meaning of tomorrow. What is the meaning of actual globalization? Tomorrow we will go for the political consequences. Thank you. Rest of tomorrow. Thank you.